Yes, Mercy, we just heard Grant Shapps there. So some of the highlights that stood out to me is that they are saying that there will be some stretches of high-speed line, but there will not be this one dedicated separate Northern Powerhouse Rail high-speed line which the government had promised. Instead, we'll see high-speed stretches between Crewe and Manchester, somewhere else, and Manchester, Warrington, and Manchester and West Yorkshire. And interestingly, there will be Grant Shapps was very good at reeling off the figures. £23 billion will be spent on this Northern Powerhouse Rail and the Trans-Pennine Route upgrade. That now effectively seems to be the same project. 110 new miles of high-speed line, 108 miles of new electrified line. He also committed to the West Yorkshire Mass Transit System. Now, that's not exactly a new announcement. That was in the Conservative 2019 manifesto, so that could potentially be classed as a re-announcement. And he said that essentially what this new plan does is use existing railways to deliver those improvements to passengers a lot faster, saying that journey times between York and Manchester will be cut from 55 minutes to 23, and Bradford and Leeds will just have a 12-minute commute. Now, that mention of Bradford's quite significant because Bradford had been hoped to get a new dedicated high-speed station on that Northern Powerhouse Rail. That now seems to not be the case. But I think the interesting thing is the government line seems to be very much that this will enable them to deliver these improvements to passengers a lot quicker, that we won't wait an extra decade, as Grant Shapps was saying, for the improvements to reach us in the north, and that actually expect to see a lot of Tories selling this as a benefit to those red wall areas that voted him in. You heard Grant Shapps mention places like Wakefield, Dewsbury, Doncaster. Of course, those are all places that coincidentally just happened to vote in Conservative MPs last time round, and I suspect what you saw from Grant Shapps by mentioning that is this idea that his new plan delivers not just for the big cities as HS2 and the old Northern Powerhouse Rail plans could have been accused of, but also for some of those other areas that were perhaps a bit overlooked. We're already starting to see some reaction coming in. Some people didn't even wait for Grant Shapps to speak before giving their reaction. John Trickett, the Labour MP in Hemsworth, the HS2 line would have gone through his patch. He said that the money that's been pulled is our money in the north, and that needs to be given back so we can invest in our trains and buses. Tracy Brabin, the West Yorkshire Mayor, was saying this morning that it's a betrayal of the north. Susan Hinchcliffe, the leader of Bradford Council, which obviously now is not going to get this high-speed station, said she was angry, and she was very surprised because Rishi Sunak is a Yorkshire MP. He is a Yorkshire Chancellor, and she feels he is not delivering for this county. Interestingly as well, something that might be interesting to note is that a lot of Yorkshire Conservative MPs, from what I've seen, have been very, very quiet on social media today. So although this may be sold in a certain way by the government, it may not be going down as well as maybe expected here in the north, even amongst their own side.